Roger Federer's career was not only about winning championships, it was about redefining what it means to compete, to inspire, and to remain timeless in a sport that is always evolving. Federer was the rare kind of athlete who elevated not just himself, but the entire game of tennis. He brought millions of new fans into the sport, and he changed the way players approached their craft, both technically and mentally. While he is remembered for his grace and elegance, the story of Federer also shines light on something deeper: his resilience, his adaptability, and his ability to carve his legacy in the most competitive era tennis has ever known. Born in Basel, Switzerland, Federer's early story was not unlike many aspiring athletes. He discovered tennis at a young age, falling in love with the game's rhythm and its individual challenge. But as a child, Federer wasn't the composed figure the world came to know. He was hot-tempered, emotional, and prone to frustration. Coaches often recall how he would smash rackets or lose his composure after mistakes. What he lacked in emotional control, however, he more than made up for in raw talent. His natural coordination, touch, and vision of the court were extraordinary. The young Federer simply needed time to channel his fire into something more focused, and that transformation became one of the central arcs of his story. By his teenage years, Federer was already turning heads on the international stage. His defining breakthrough came at Wimbledon in 2001 when, at just 19, he defeated Pete Sampras, the reigning king of grass and a 7-time Wimbledon champion. That match was more than just a stunning upset. It symbolized a changing of the guard, a glimpse into the future of tennis. Federer wasn't ready to dominate yet, but the seeds had been planted. The world now knew his name, and more importantly, Federer himself realized he could match the very best. The next few years tested his resolve. Federer was immensely talented, but consistency eluded him. He would deliver moments of brilliance, then follow them with inexplicable losses. But by 2003, he had matured enough to finally capture his first Grand Slam title at Wimbledon. That victory began a historic stretch that saw him dominate the sport like no one before. From 2004 to 2007, Federer ascended into a realm of near invincibility, winning 11 Grand Slam titles in 4 years and holding the #1 ranking for 237 consecutive weeks. To put it simply, Federer was everywhere, and he was winning everything. What set Federer apart during this reign was not only the trophies, but the way he achieved them. His forehand was a masterpiece, his one-handed backhand an elegant weapon, and his serve deceptively effective. He had every shot, every angle, every tool needed to dismantle opponents. Yet his real strength was his mental calm. Matches that would unravel other players seemed like routine challenges to Federer. His ability to stay composed under pressure became a trademark, and fans marveled at how he combined artistry with ruthless efficiency. But even Federer was not immune to challenges. Every great champion needs rivals to test their greatness, and Federer's career collided with two of the fiercest competitors tennis has ever seen, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. Federer's rivalry with Nadal defined much of the 2000s. Nadal's relentless topspin, physicality, and unmatched competitiveness clashed with Federer's elegance and variety. The two played some of the most memorable matches in tennis history, none more iconic than the 2008 Wimbledon final. That match, which Nadal won in 5 grueling sets, is often regarded as the greatest tennis match ever played. Federer lost, but his performance in defeat revealed his resilience. Even when outmatched physically, he refused to surrender mentally. The rivalry brought out the best in both men, and for fans, it was a spectacle that transcended sport. Then came Djokovic. If Nadal was Federer's greatest rival on clay, Djokovic became his greatest test on all surfaces. Djokovic's relentless return game, athleticism, and sheer willpower made him an immovable obstacle. Their encounters, particularly at Wimbledon and the US Open, were often decided by razor-thin margins. Perhaps the most heartbreaking moment of Federer's career came in the 2019 Wimbledon final, where he held 2 championship points against Djokovic but could not close the match. At 37 years old, Federer was still playing at an elite level, but that defeat showed the cruel side of sport, that even greatness can be fragile. Yet once again, Federer handled the moment with grace, accepting heartbreak with dignity and reinforcing why he was so deeply respected. Beyond the numbers and rivalries, Federer's global influence was monumental. He became more than just a tennis player, he became a cultural icon. His style of play captivated casual fans who might not have followed tennis otherwise. He carried himself with humility and charm, speaking multiple languages and always connecting with fans around the world. Whether in Australia, New York, Paris, London, or Shanghai, Federer was greeted like royalty, but he never acted entitled. He was approachable, gracious, and genuine. Off the court, his philanthropy through the Roger Federer Foundation touched countless lives. Focused primarily on education in Africa and Switzerland, the foundation has impacted the futures of over 2 million children. Federer's commitment to giving back showed that his greatness wasn't confined to the court. He understood that his platform carried responsibility, and he embraced it fully. As Federer aged, what made his story even more inspiring was his longevity. Tennis is a physically demanding sport, and most players begin to fade in their early 30s. Yet Federer defied that curve. In 2017, at age 35, after knee surgeries and doubts about his future, Federer staged one of the most remarkable comebacks in sports history. He defeated Nadal in a 5-set epic to win the Australian Open, then followed it with another Wimbledon title. This resurgence reminded the world of his resilience and his unshakable love for the game. It wasn't just about records anymore. It was about passion, about proving to himself and the world that he could still compete at the highest level. By the time he retired in 2022, Federer's resume was staggering. 20 Grand Slam titles, 103 ATP titles, 310 weeks as world number one, and countless records. But what mattered most wasn't the statistics, it was the feeling he gave to those who watched him. Federer made tennis magical. He gave fans memories they will cherish forever, from impossible passing shots to 5-set thrillers under the lights. He embodied the idea that sport is not just about winning, but about beauty, emotion, and inspiration. Federer's farewell at the 2022 Laver Cup, where he played his final match alongside Nadal, was a moment of pure emotion. Watching two rivals turn friends embrace as tears flowed was symbolic of everything Federer represented: respect, humanity, and love for the game. He left tennis not just as a champion, but as a timeless symbol of excellence and grace. The legacy of Roger Federer will never fade. He changed the sport technically, inspiring new generations with his playing style. He raised the bar for professionalism, showing how discipline and humility could coexist with greatness. And he changed the culture of tennis, making it more global, more engaging, and more beautiful. Players like Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Coco Gauff all grew up idolizing him, carrying forward his influence into a new era. For fans, Federer will always be remembered as the athlete who made tennis feel like poetry in motion. He wasn't just a champion, he was an experience, a reminder of what is possible when talent, passion, and resilience come together. His name will forever sit in the pantheon of sporting legends, alongside Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Serena Williams. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the extraordinary journey of Roger Federer, a legend who showed us that greatness is about more than numbers, it's about inspiring hearts and leaving the game more beautiful than you found it. If Federer's story moved you, share it with someone who remembers those magical moments, like this video to keep the spirit alive, and leave a comment with the Federer match or memory that touched you most. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another tribute to the icons who changed the world of sports forever.